To New Possibilities, I speak truth to power without fear. So for this video, I want to talk about the situation in Marion County, Florida, where you had a white woman by the name of Susan Louise kill a black woman, and the black woman's name is A.J. Owens. So here's the situation. Apparently, this white woman had an ongoing dispute with kids in the neighborhood. The children were simply playing in the field across from this woman's house, and this woman had been in many disputes with these kids. And according to the police, the detectives, this woman had used racial slurs on several occasions and racial language towards these children. And things came to a head recently where you had this woman confront these children. This woman threw a skateboard at one of the children, hitting that child in the toe with the skateboard. This woman swung an umbrella at several of these kids. And so A.J. Owens came to this woman's house to talk to her about this situation involving her children. She went to the house with her 10-year-old kid, and she knocked on the door several times to talk to her about the situation. Instead of opening the door or simply calling the police and waiting for the police, this white woman proceeded to fire a shot through her door and hit this black woman, A.J. Owens, in the upper chest, killing her in front of her 10-year-old child. And so the police tried, they got there, they tried, medical personnel tried to save this woman's life, and the woman died. And instead of the police arresting this white woman immediately, they took like 4 days to eventually arrest her. And they arrested her very recently. I think it was yesterday they finally arrested her. And she's going to be in court today for her arraignment, from what I understand. But they waited for 4 days in order to arrest this woman in a clear case of homicide. And now she's been arrested. She's been charged with manslaughter. She's been charged with culpable negligence. She's been charged with battery and assault. And I'm not sure how much potential time that she faces, but a manslaughter charge is like one of the lowest charges that somebody can get for homicide. This is a situation where, in my mind, she should be charged with murder because she fired a shot at this woman, intending to kill her. And this black woman, A.J. Owens, was unarmed. This is not a situation where she was posing any kind of threat, where she had threatened this woman or had a weapon on her or anything like that. This is absolutely crazy. There's no justification for someone firing through their door and hitting someone and killing them in front of their child. This is absolutely outrageous. And the only reason why they eventually arrested this woman is because of public pressure. There have been statements from the attorneys, statements from prominent figures, and that's what eventually led to the arrest of this woman. And it's just a shame that when Black lives are taken, we have to rally, we have to protest, we have to march and all that kind of stuff in order for the criminal justice system to take it seriously. That's why we have to march. That's why we have to demonstrate. That's why we have to protest. People often say, well, why are you raising all this hell when a black person is killed by a white person or by the police and stuff like that? Why don't you do this during when black people are killed by other black people? The fact of the matter is, when black people are killed by other black people and they know who is responsible or who killed the person, they don't sit around. The police don't sit around and wait for 5 days knowing who the suspect is. They immediately arrest that black person. They arrest them. They don't give them any deference. They don't show them any deference. They don't give them any benefit of the doubt. They don't take time to analyze all this information about whether or not stand your ground or none of that stuff. They arrest that black person. And if that had been a black woman shooting a white woman through the door, they would have arrested that woman on sight. But when it comes to black people, our lives are not a priority. Our lives don't have any value. Our lives don't matter at all to these people. And it's only when we protest and raise all kinds of hell that they eventually decide to do something about it. And this is not some situation where people are like, well, did race play a factor? I'm not sure. You had a detectives here who investigated this situation and uncovered that this is a racist woman, you know, that had animosity towards these black children. I probably, you know, more likely than not, this is a situation where she didn't want black children playing in her neighborhood, playing in a field across from her house. It's not like they were playing on her front yard or something like that. They were on a field across from her house. And this woman felt like she was entitled to attack these children, basically. You know, this is another example of a Karen. I mean, this woman called the police and all this and that, but she didn't wait around for the police to actually come. And the thing is, often, you know, these racist white people will weaponize the police against black people. But since the police didn't get there fast enough for her and didn't serve as her weapon of choice, this woman said, well, let me take matters into my own hands and use a weapon, shooting through a closed door at this black woman. And this just reminds me of another point. You know, the NAACP had issued a travel advisory, and one of the things that was pointed out in that travel advisory was this whole open carry law that they have there, you know, where people can openly carry weapons without a permit. And even though that law takes effect a little bit later, that's the climate that you have in Florida. You have that stand your ground law down there that is often used to justify the killing of black people. That, you know, that stand your ground law promotes violence. So it's no wonder that you have a situation like this. They want to make it seem like a civil rights organization like the NAACP was crazy for calling out that state for this. And this is a prime example of some of the problems that African Americans face in Florida. We remember what happened to that brother Trayvon Martin, shot in the heart. And people tried to use the stand your ground law as some kind of defense for that killer, Zimmerman. So yeah, this situation is outrageous. You know, I think that these charges are insufficient. I mean, this woman deliberately killed this black woman, and you just going to charge her with manslaughter. She needs to be charged with at least second-degree murder. But we'll see what happens in this case. I will continue to follow this case and discuss this case as there are new developments in the case. So with that, peace and blessings. Please rate, comment, subscribe, like the video, share the video, and hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content on here. Also, I want to let you all know anyone who's interested in reading great books and having great discussions with great people, I want to encourage you to follow New Possibilities Book Club on Facebook. I will post a link in the comments so that you all can follow that page and join our next discussion. We meet on the last Sunday of this month at 2 p.m. Eastern Time via Zoom. I will post the invite in the comments so you all could RSVP for that discussion, and we will be discussing The Color Purple. As you all know, there's going to be a new release of The Color Purple. I think it's going to be the play or something, you know, it's going to be re-released in theaters. So we want you to join this discussion of this very controversial book, The Color Purple. So with that, peace and blessings. Have a great day. And please rate, comment, and subscribe.